What's up, YouTube family? Lou here with another Guy Like Collectibles video. And I'm just here, like, got all these cards in front of me, um, like stacks, and just fixing up, putting stuff away, organizing, taking my old stuff. For example, like all my cards that are in these card savers and putting them into top loaders and just going through my stuff, just curating my collection. And I figured, you know what, while I'm doing this, why not record a video, right? And just give a shout out to all the dads out there for Father's Day. This is Monday, the day after Father's Day, and I figured I share a new card that I picked up too. But I just wanted to to share a thought of something that I'm planning on doing. I'm want to start something, and I wanted to get people's opinions about it, and also maybe perhaps get an idea of what player to start with what I want to do. So, yesterday was cool. We had Father's Day, went to church, had breakfast. My dad, unfortunately, has been sick the last couple of days. He caught a bad cold. So yesterday he didn't go with us. But today I took him to the doctor. He got some medicine, some antibiotics. So now he's just chilling, resting. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing that video with him that I was thinking about. I'll talk to him to see what happens, but he is leaving on Thursday. I'll be taking him to New York. He's going to visit some family over there. And then he's going to fly out to Chicago to visit my brother. So, but I did have a cool conversation with him. And I was asking him who his favorite players were when he was a kid. And he told me that his two favorite players in the majors were Mickey Mantle and Roy Campanella. Those were his two favorite players when he was growing up as a kid. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then I also asked him if he ever saw like any of the guys in Puerto Rico, if he ever saw them play. And he told me that when he was a kid, back in like 1959, he said about 11 or 12 years old. He said that he saw Roberto Clemente play and Orlando Cepeda play, because back then they used to go play winter ball out in Puerto Rico before all the rules came out that the major leagues didn't want guys playing in the winter leagues. So he said that there was a game, the game that he went to, he said Orlando Cepeda hit a double to right field. And all of a sudden, Orlando Cepeda was making the rounding the second base, and that he kind of made like an attempt, like he kind of like made like some kind of like a fake out, like if he was gonna go to third, and Clemente threw a strike to the third baseman. My dad said the guy didn't even move at third base. He just boom, and then Cepeda started laughing, and I thought that was kind of cool that he was able to witness that. Here's Cepeda and a Clemente. But when he was telling me the story, I was like, man, how cool was that you're 12 years old and a kid from Puerto Rico, you're out there in Puerto Rico in the Hiram Bithorn Stadium, right? The stadium was named after the first Puerto Rican player who ever played in the majors. But then to be able to witness two of the greatest Puerto Rican players that ever lived, you got to see them play. Back then, in a time where, they were major leaguers already, and they ended up going to the to play in Puerto Rico for the winter league. So I thought that was so cool. You know what I mean? The fact that he was able to witness that and see that. it's almost like I feel jealous that I wasn't able to see something like that. But he told me that back then in Puerto Rico, he said the stadiums would be packed because a lot of the Major League ball players would go over there to play, and the people would just like swarm to the stadium to watch. He says ever since they stopped that, you know, not a big crowd anymore. It doesn't draw the crowd that it used to years ago. But I thought that was kind of cool. He told me that he was able to go because a friend of his dad was the one that took them. Because you know my father, you know, his family, they kind of grew up poor. My grandmother, she died when my dad was 3 years old, and then the family kind of got separated. My father was one of seven. He had two sisters, and then him and his four other brothers. And my dad was three at the time. He was the second to the youngest. And then the youngest was only 6 months old when my grandmother passed away. So they ended up splitting the family, and some went with aunts, and then my dad and his two brothers went with his grandmother. And then when his grandmother passed away, he ended up going with one of his brothers to live with his dad, and then he grew up with his pops. So it was kind of cool to sit down and chat with him a little bit about baseball and about those times. He can't stand Aaron Boone. He says he's the worst manager he's ever seen. He thinks Aaron Boone should be fired immediately. And he says he changes the lineup too much. He doesn't have a steady team playing. He makes horrible moves with the pitching rotation. And so it's just funny to watch him like kind of like flip out while watching the game with him. We've been watching like the whole Red Sox series. Oh my God. He was livid and pissed. You know, I'm still gonna try to see if I can get a quick video with him before he leaves. He's resting upstairs now. Him and my mom, they're like just laying out watching TV in my bedroom. I gave them my bedroom to sleep in, and so I'm down here just chilling. My wife is out with her mom, so I just figured I'd come down here and do a quick video while I mess around with my cards. Just, you know, putting stuff away. Right now I'm dealing with my non-Hall of Fame cards, and you know, I got some Donnie baseball that I'm putting into here. But just having fun, you know, with these cards and with baseball itself. Crazy about Rafael Devers, him getting traded. That was wild. I can't believe it. That one really took me by surprise. I didn't expect that. You know, a player of his quality, and you know the fact that they signed him for that big contract for like 10 years for like $300 million, and they decided to get rid of him is kind of crazy. But you know, he was pissed, and when you're not when you got a superstar that's not happy, you know, it creates a dysfunction in the team. You know what I mean? So, but it is what it is. Here's a Don Mattingly autograph, if you could see it. A little bit there. It's a little faded. And like I said, just replacing these cards, putting in the other ones. Shohei Ohtani's pitching tonight, so that should be fun. Yankees play at 7 against the Angels. That should be fun. Hopefully they do a lot better this series than they did with the Red Sox, man. That was tough. Close games, too, man. That's what sucks about it. But what I wanted to talk about was I'm planning on doing a little series that I plan on doing. And I was thinking about calling it I can only have one. If I can only have one, and do episodes on different players. So basically what it is for example, I got all these Don Mattingly's, right? So I'm thinking to myself, I got all these Don Mattingly's. So if I could only have one Don Mattingly to represent Don Mattingly in my collection, which card would I pick? You know what I mean? So I plan on doing that as an ongoing like a series, and do different episodes per player that I decide to choose, because I collect a lot of players. I'm not or just a single player collector. I collect a lot of different players. I collect non-Hall of Famers, Hall of Famers. So I want to be able to maybe do an episode where I'm talking about a player, maybe give a little background on them, and then show the card that I decided to choose as the one card that I would choose if I only can have one. So if you could only have one, what would it be, right? So that's going to be my thing for that. And I thought it would be a fun little thing to do. It gives me an opportunity to look through my cards and also choose and decide which one I would pick as my card to represent. And it doesn't have to be the rookie card. It could be any card. It could be their last card. It could be their rookie card, maybe an all-star rookie cup card. And it doesn't matter what set. It could be a Bowman Topps. It could be any type. But I figured I would do it with different individual players, so I could always have more and more episodes to do. So I'm going to start off with a first one. I'm not going to start it today. It's going to be a different video. But what I will ask the audience, who should I start my first episode with? You know what I mean? I have a lot of players to choose from. It could be a non-Hall of Famer. It could be a Hall of Famer. I have a lot of Vic Power cards. I have a lot of Don Mattingly cards, Roberto Alomar. I got a little bit of everything. So, let me know who you would want to see. And, right now, I wanted to show this card off. I just got this in the mail the other day, and I love this card. I think it's such a gorgeous looking card. It's a 1961. I know a lot of people don't like the 61 set, but there's a few cards in that set that are gorgeous cards. I love the Cepeda, which I still don't own. I will get it though. But I saw this and I had to get it. For one, he's a Latin player, which that I collect. I also love to collect family, like for example, like how I collect the Alomars and stuff like that. So this is a great group of guys to collect. And these are Dominican players, and this particular one is a 1961 rookie card of Matty Alou, one of the Alou brothers. Now if I could get a good angle on here, because this lighting is terrible. Hold on, let me see if I could. There we go. Maybe that's a little better. Yeah, there we go. That's a nice card. This card is so nice, man. Such a beautiful card. And here's the back. Picked this up for cheap. I think it was like $4.99 on eBay. And I just thought it was a gorgeous card, man. It's just a beautiful card. So I am super happy to have this. It's beautifully centered too, man. It's just in great shape. And I don't know, man. Lately, I've just been wanting to buy a lot of raw cards. They just seem to be better to store. They've been nice to because eventually I want to put them in binders. I got my Hall of Fame binder that I just added the Richie Ashburn, the 52. I did a short on it, and it looks great. So, just looking to continue, just having fun with this hobby, man. I'm just having a great time collecting. Check out this Paul Skeens, man. Rookie Cup. And shout out to Kevin from Instagram. He ended up sending me some cards, man, and some nice ones. Here's an Alomar. Here's a Edgar Martinez. Just some great cards. But like I said, man, just having fun here. Just curating some cards until the Yankee game starts. That way I could watch it with my dad. And like I said, uh, new episodes are going to be coming out of, if I could only have one. So episode 1 will be starting soon, maybe this week. In the comments, let me know what card, what player you think I should start with. I was thinking about Andre Dawson, but like I said, there's a lot to choose from. So you guys comment down below. Let me know what you think. I really appreciate it. It's about 15 minutes already, so I'm about to get off. So take care. God bless. Be safe. Peace.